What is up? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm KJ and I'm here to help you live a fuller life starting today. So let's jump on in. Before we dig in deeper to intermittent fasting specifically, I do want to touch on fasting just in general. Where does it come from? It has been used for thousands of years. So you look, it is religious. There's been religions that fast for 30, I think it's up to 40 days. Ramadan, they don't eat or drink water actually, but intermittent fasting, I definitely recommend drinking some liquids. But so the human body can take this and not eating for periods of time. So when we look at fasting, what is actually happening? One big thing people are intermittent fasting or just fasting in general for is weight loss. So that's one of the main topics we'll touch on, but it's the concept of we want to lose weight, so we're going to fast. We're going to limit our caloric intake. We're not going to eat. That way our body can, of course, use fat stores as energy, and that way I look better and look leaner. You know, summer bod season's come around the corner, so it's definitely a good time to try now. But let's look at eating at the same time. So we're talking about summer bods and all these things, but what is happening when we are eating? Why do we store fat in the first place? Well, we are eating, in my opinion, too much food. And what happens is when you have such a high blood sugar, you have carbohydrates coming in, whether it's sugars or bread or pasta, whatever it happens to be, any type of carbohydrate, our body's now taking this in and now it actually stores as fat once it reaches a certain limit. The culprit of this is called insulin. Now we hear about this with diabetics, type 1 and type 2, but what happens is your body reaches a limit and it says, hey, I can't pass this, but we keep taking in carbohydrates and it's passing that limit. So our body has to kick in insulin. What insulin is doing is bringing it back down to that limit to have a balanced blood sugar. We don't want it too high and we also don't want it too low. We want it just right, that sweet spot. So now you have balanced blood sugar, but you also have all these excess calories, these carbs, whatever it's going to be, glucose in that point, probably by now. Where do these go? Well, I'm sure you can guess where this is going. It turns into fat. When insulin is called in to do its job, it gets stored as fat. Like I said, this has been used for thousands of years. There's a reason why our body's doing this. It is storing these excess calories for later. But nowadays, we have excess calories coming in. So that's why we have excess fat stores, unfortunately. But there is an easy way to help turn that cycle back the other direction. That's called intermittent fasting. First, I'm going to touch on the main ways the market is talking about intermittent fasting. What I mean by that is, what are they saying these windows of eating are? What should someone do? My opinion is follow your body, but we're going to talk about the main 3 ways that people are intermittent fasting. The first way, which is actually the way I do personally, is a 16-8-hour window. Me, I am more flexible. I don't follow a strict 16-hour non-eating and a strict 8-hour eating window. I do happen to listen to my body, the cues it gives me. If I need food, then I eat. If I don't, I drink some extra water and I'm good to go. The second way is actually going a full fast 1 day a week and eating normal calories the other 6. Another twist on this is a 5-2 split, where you're actually eating normal calories for 5 days, and then for 2 days you limit your calories to less than 500. So similar to intermittent fasting, but extreme on those 2 days. There's a newer one that's coming to realm where you eat normal 1 day and the next day you completely fast. So it is a different form of that 16-1, but you happen to fast more frequently. The important thing with fasting every other day is to make sure you're getting healthy, solid calories or just healthy foods on the days you're not fasting. If you're eating really cruddy on 1 day and then have no food the next, you can find yourself actually being mineral and vitamin depleted. So if you're gonna do that rhythm, then make sure you're actually eating the best foods possible on that 1 day. It is a little more strict, at least in my opinion. That way you don't go into depletion of different vitamins and minerals. So we talked about intermittent fasting, these different windows I can be eating in, and got to get these calories in on my normal eating window hours or my first day because I'm fasting the next day. So what do we go from there? Like, what am I actually intermittent fasting for? That why, that purpose. Are you looking to lose some weight? Are you looking for more energy? Are you looking for better brain function? Or are you looking to reduce inflammation in the body? or even possibly increasing HGH, which is your human growth hormone. And by doing that, you can actually build more leaner muscle. So there is indeed a lot of great benefits to intermittent fasting. I've also experienced, me personally, a lot of great results, mental clarity, more energy in the morning, and I actually feel more productive. When you're not focusing on eating for a little extended period of time, you're not focused on foods, you're more focused on work, you're more focused on being productive, spending time with family, whatever it happens to be. There's also a lot of celebrities that have come out and just praised intermittent fasting because how it's helped them. And I think that's the most important thing, the simple fact that it's helping them. They're finding a certain way to help themselves out. So this is a great tool that someone can use. Me personally, I believe every single person should try a form of intermittent fasting. It doesn't have to be the 16-8, doesn't even have to be 24, which is more an extreme version. It can be 12-12 to start off. But my best tip is to start somewhere. If you push back a meal by 30 minutes, if it's breakfast, all you're doing is actually pushing back the breaking of your fast, or pushing back breakfast. It's funny when you break down that word in smaller chunks, it kind of makes sense what we're talking about today. The biggest thing with intermittent fasting is find what works for you. Like Terry Crews, me, the Wolverine, whoever it happens to be that is practicing intermittent fasting has found what works for them. So go find what works for you, try different ones out. Try pushing back breakfast an hour, see if it helps you out. Try doing the 5-2, try doing the 6-1. Experiment. I believe health is trial and error. You will not know what works for you until you try something. Be safe, don't go too extreme. The other thing is start slow. Some people jump in right to a 16-8 hour window and they just push their body past the limits. Allow your body to adapt and work better with what you want to accomplish. I've got 2 bonus tips for you guys. With that, I want to share the first one right now. For the first bonus tip, it is drinking water. So if you want to try intermittent fasting and you do not know if you can do it, try this out. If you get hungry, 9:30, 10, 8:30, whatever time it is, have some water. Drink 16 to 20 ounces of water and wait. There's 2 things that are going to happen. The first is you are going to get hungry again. You're going to have that craving to eat something, or maybe nauseousness, that blood sugar imbalance. Then go ahead and eat. The second option is you're not going to feel hungry anymore. You just needed some water. Sometimes we take these signals and we just assume it's automatically for food. But sometimes, I believe, and especially in the morning, a lot of the time we are dehydrated. We just need some liquids because we haven't had any water all night. And for the second bonus tip, it is eat some extra plants. Eat some more high fiber foods, whether it's grains, rices, beans, vegetables, fruits. My goal for you guys is to shoot between 5 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables. I know 5 is that goal for everybody, but that's definitely a minimum. Just get a lot of high fiber foods. I can guarantee if you start making some small implementations with more whole foods, not processed, more whole foods, and applying some concepts of intermittent fasting, playing with it, you'll find what works best for you. And that is what is most important. So I really hope you guys learned some stuff today. Please share what you learned, your best tip that you learned today in the comments. That way I know which tip you most enjoyed. Secondly, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you do want to know more information on how this applies to your life specifically, get some specific tips on your lifestyle, please shoot me an email. I will drop my email in the comments, in the directive. Please shoot me an email. I'm glad to help reach out and answer any questions you might have at this point. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.